An Orthodox man was traveling on El Al when his seatmate asked him, "Tell me, what do you do for a living?" To which he responded, "I'm a rabbi." The person somewhat condescendingly said, "Well, I was born Jewish. I don't know too much about the religion, but I would imagine you could sum it up in one sentence. Don't do unto others what you wouldn't like done unto yourself." The rabbi then turned to his seatmate and he said, "Tell me, and what do you do for a living?" To which he responded, "I'm an astrophysicist." The rabbi said, "Look, I don't know too much about being an astrophysicist, but I would imagine you could sum it up in one sentence. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are." If I was to ask you to give me one verse from the Bible that defines what Judaism is all about, what is at the very essence of what it means to be a Jew, which verse would you pick? I would imagine that many of us would pick the very famous verse, the verse Shema Yisrael. "Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one." It speaks about the oneness of God. Then I would imagine there are those who would suggest, well, let's choose the verse that speaks about the fact that man was created in the image of God. And then I would imagine there are those who may suggest, well, what's the point of believing in one God and at the same time recognizing that man was created in his image, if while we spend our time on planet Earth, all we do is kill each other? And therefore the appropriate verse would be Ahavat Yisrael, the verse that speaks about loving your fellow Jew as yourself. What's interesting is that the rabbis in the Medrash suggest all three verses as being the verse that defines Judaism. However, the Midrash, the rabbinic interpretation of the Torah, concludes and it says that the verse that defines our faith is found in this week's reading, Parshat Pinchat, the verse that speaks about the sacrifices that were brought in the temple. And the verse reads, "And you shall bring a sacrifice in the morning, and you shall bring a sacrifice in the afternoon." It's rather strange. Firstly, how many of us have actually heard of this verse? And who would have imagined that the verse that speaks about bringing a sacrifice in the morning and a sacrifice in the afternoon is the verse that defines Judaism? Something's amiss here. I appreciate and I understand that a verse that speaks about the oneness of God, the centrality of God in our lives, and recognizing the fact that we've been created in His image, and being that all of mankind has been created in His image, how we need to therefore treat our fellow human being. These principles and these ideas speak to the very essence of Judaism and our contribution to society at large. But what sense do we make of the verse that speaks to bringing a sacrifice in the morning and a sacrifice in the afternoon? A rather moving answer that is offered is that the verse that defines what it means to be Jewish is one that speaks to an unwavering consistency. One sheep as a sacrifice in the morning, and one sheep as a sacrifice in the afternoon. Recognize that only an act that is done on a continuous basis, one sacrifice in the morning and one sacrifice in the afternoon, can we speak about a loving man created in the image of God, changing the world one mitzvah at a time. Let each and every one of us choose a mitzvah. And when we're comfortable with that mitzvah, let us choose another. And thereby, you and I together will change the world one mitzvah at a time. Thank you.